Instead of having a number you recognise, why don't you save it as a contact?
Well, because they've never fucking rung me before.
Well, how do you recognise the number then?
Well, they rang me before, just before, but the first time today.
But who are they?
Hands Out West.
Oh, it's your finger recovery.
Yeah.
Hands Out West.
Why don't you come
Funny,
out?
Good name.
Come out west to my neck of the woods, mate, and you'll catch these hands. Jace.
Are we starting this fucking thing or not?
Fan of the Hodaki Big Show podcast? Make sure you check out more from Jace, Mike and Keezy on their Instagram at Hodaki Big Show, or tune in to them 4 to 7 every weekday on Radio Hodaki.
Thanks, mate.
Do you, though? In terms of when you get a phone call, if you don't recognise it, do you answer it?
No.
Yeah.
I do.
It's weird, isn't it?
Oh, it
Because
varies. It
because
varies.
If I don't answer it, then I fret about who, especially if they don't leave a message. I'm like, I wonder who that might have been.
Actually, I think I do answer it. There was a period where I didn't, but
Yeah.
now I think I do because it's probably someone I need to talk to.
Yeah, business
Well, it
related.
could be an opportunity.
It's business time.
It's mostly for me. HelloFresh just keeps calling
Why?
to try and. So once you cancel HelloFresh, they keep calling you randomly to get you to sign up, and they'll offer you a discount.
Why don't you tell them that you want to be removed from their database?
Because I like to activate it every now and then.
Oh, right.
But I've got 6 of their phone numbers saved on my phone, so it pops up with HelloFresh. And every time a new one rings up, I answer it. They go, "Hi, it's HelloFresh," and then they go, "Ugh," and just hang up. Save it on my list.
Do you just hang up without saying anything, Keezy?
Correct.
That's rude, man.
I don't care. I used to say something, but they try to keep you on the line to sell you more stuff.
Right.
It's a big American company. I don't care. They can get stuffed.
Jeez, who knew that Keezy had this nasty side,
He's
mate?
a real piece of shit.
Isn't he? I mean,
I wouldn't go that
jeez,
far.
I
I think he's actually a great guy.
Far out, man.
I think he's a
Holy
What's
lovely
going
guy.
on there, Keezy?
Hey, fellas, I've worked out about those flies. Those bags of flies.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's working, your bag of water?
I think they're attracting flies
Right.
because there were so many flies in our house.
You've
today.
got to have something dead in the bush or something, eh?
But considering it's been going for over a year, like also what I mean is
Right.
last summer as well,
Yeah.
then it's not that because it would have decomposed and gone away.
Are
Yeah.
you near a creek or anything?
Nah, I mean we've got the pool which is moist, and previously it would have been that.
Yeah,
Now
because
it's a shitter.
she was an old cesspool there for
I
a while.
I cannot understand what it could be. I thought, is it a plant? But there's lots of juveniles around as well,
Sure.
so they're hatching somewhere.
Incidentally, can you just, when you say juveniles, how are you identifying them? Just they're smaller?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Because actually, funnily enough, today, Mogi, I noticed more flies in my house.
Right.
And like you, they do my head in. In fact, but my daughter, my youngest daughter, she just cannot cope with them at all and has a complete sort of mental breakdown if she especially
Right.
if they touch her food
Right.
or go near her food. She's like, I'm not eating that.
Yeah, right.
And,
yeah,
you've just spent half an hour making it for her.
I can deal with a couple, but I'm talking like you walk in and just fucking 20
Yeah.
just left off.
Yeah, that's not
There's
right.
something fucked going on
That
there.
is unnatural.
That
'cause
is disgusting.
I had 4 in my house last night. I counted.
Clean house. Go in. Yeah, it's fucked. So anyway, I rang a drain joint because I thought it might be the drains.
Sure.
Get the drains cleared out, and she's recommended this bug spray instead, which I thought was good of her. She could have said, but what happened was I said, so I've got heaps of flies around my house. Keen for you guys to come around and clean out the drains inside and out. Is that something that can happen, that the drains attract flies? And she paused just long enough for me to know that it wasn't.
Yeah.
And then she said, oh, well, actually what I do is such and such. So I'll give that a run.
It's good, when people... It restores your faith in humanity that they don't go, oh, yeah, no, we can send someone out.
Yeah,
no
it
worries.
won't make any difference at all.
No, at all, but we'll charge
Yeah.
the arse off you
I
to
do
do
wish
it.
I knew what it was. It really makes me want to move.
Yeah.
Wow.
There is something about flies that drives me nuts. In fact, when I got home last night, my wife was cooking.
Yeah.
And she didn't do the Thai curry that I was hoping for. She went Indian curry
Oh,
with the prawns
you don't
we
like
had.
Indian.
The prawns that we had. I know I like Indian, but I set my mind to a Thai curry.
Sure.
And that as
Must have been hard to adjust.
if you recall last night, I said I'll make it.
Yeah.
And so all the way home, I was going, "Oh, I'm gonna really spice this son of a bitch up."
Right.
I'm good chili action going on. So I got home, and she was making an Indian curry, and I was like, "Oh." But
Devastating.
anyway, there was a massive fly in our kitchen just buzzing around, and that did my head in. And in fact, Hoity J swore a little bit and got the fly spray and just went loose.
That's what I tell you. What, I did exactly the same thing last night, and
Yes.
I tell you why. It's because I have said, and my wife hates flies more than I do. I've said, if you don't want flies in here, as soon as we cook, you have got to clean everything. All the dishes, everything in the dishwasher, wipe down the benches, all the food left over into containers, put it in the fridge, get rid of it, because that is just it, man. You're fucked if you leave it out.
Yes.
Any excuse. So last night, I'm sitting there feeding the kid, and my wife was hanging out the washing, right? But all the shit from dinner was still there. And so I finished with the kid, got her in the bath, then went into the kitchen, and there was just fucking flies. I was like, man, you got to cover these food, because there's a couple of lunch boxes with the lid slightly askew to let the heat out.
Yes.
And I was like, honestly, if we don't want flies in here, we have got to clean. Oh no, that's what I did. No, I wasn't that forward. I got the fly spray like you, and I just started going all over the place. And she was like, Have you got everything covered in there? It's like, man, there's flies fucking everywhere in here. You got to cover up these lunchboxes. She's like, well, they're not getting into the lunchbox. She said, I've got them sort of askew. At that moment, I take the lid, move the lid. There is a blowfly in this lunchbox, and it saw me, and it didn't give a fuck. And it stayed there for about another 7 seconds. I was like, right, so that all goes in the bin. I was like, this is what I'm talking about, man. You got to clean up.
The Hodaki Big Show with Jason Hoyt, Mike Minogue, and Keezy. The Hodaki Big Show, weekdays at 4 on Radio Hodaki.
We had a scenario a little while back where it was so gross, Mogi, where the blowflies were so big.
Blowflies?
Blowflies. They were so big, they moved like slugs.
Oh, God.
And it was like...
Have you looked in your food bin?
No, as I say, this year we're not actually punished with them too much.
We're not either.
There'll be 3 or 4, maybe, but it's 2 lounges and a kitchen in that.
Our food bin, though, the little green one, the new one.
Yes, with the food scraps.
Yeah, so we've got nowhere to put it that isn't in direct sunlight all day.
Yeah.
And I let it out I put the
Under
actual
your sink?
the
Right.
outdoor bin.
Yeah, I know the one.
I keep the little one inside in the fridge to keep it cool, blah, blah. But that one, and we had our bins go out on Friday, and on Saturday we had a roast chicken.
Yeah. Did you put
Carcass.
that in the freezer, though?
No, actually, it's a good idea. We should do that.
Did you make a chicken soup with it? Because that's what I do.
Yeah, okay. But what happens is you put something in there and it's in there for like 4 days in direct
Yeah.
sunlight. You open it up and there is just a full civilization of maggots, and they lay heaps of eggs all up the sides of the inside of the bin.
They're fucking gross.
That is
Yeah,
disgusting.
man. Yeah.
We get that with the salmon wrapper thingies.
Oh yeah.
Stick those in the freezer because for that very reason. What was the first thing you started out talking about then?
Not having my bins in the sun, in the shade.
What was?
Chicken carcass.
When you put those bins out on the street,
Yeah,
how many of your neighbours have got them out on the street?
all of them.
Really?
Yeah.
I think we're the only one.
Really?
Very similar.
I look up and down the street and I can't see one other person with their bin out.
No, yeah, all of mine do. There's heaps of them.
Because we've got all those townhouses next to us with the same thing. And it's on Monday that we do it. And it's usually just us.
Yeah.
And there might be one other bin.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
think
like,
people can't be fucked.
Yeah.
Just chuck it in the bin.
But
Which
I
is
love
a shame
them. I
because
love
they're
it.
great. It's fantastic.
I still feel weird
They are a
like,
grosser option.
with bones and meat and that
Right.
sort of shit, because you can chuck pretty much all your food out, and I go,
Yeah.
doesn't seem right to me, but if that's
just
what
a
they
giant-
say,
From
good.
dust to dust, Jace.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
No, I love those bins because it's made our actual rubbish bin nowhere near as rank as it used to be.
that's true.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
'cause
used to.
I remember going over to your place,
Case,
Keezy,
you've never been to my place.
and you invited me in for a cold one.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and you said, and I walked in there and I was like, whoa, what's that cheese? What's that pong? And it was your
Bolos.
bin.
I thought you were going to say nips there.
No.
It was my bin. So I
I'll
actually.
be honest with you, Keezy, I've never smelt your burnt meat patties.
And
We
I
need to put a
think it's-
photo
I
of
think-
all of our nipples up on
Oh,
Instagram.
100%.
We need to do that.
And I think it's definitely something at one of the neighbours because my neighbours are suffering from it as well.
It's their fault.
No, I don't think so. But
Interesting.
it's something hanging around somewhere.
Yeah. And of course, obviously, perfect temps for festering fly action.
Yeah.
Just sultry, murky, mucky at times.
Because
They'll be thriving.
They lay in shit. They
Yeah.
lay in
Food.
food and, animals, dead carcasses and shit. So I don't know what would consistently do that. On the other side, our neighbours have just thrown out 2 skips worth of shit.
Right.
So maybe one of those. I don't know. But it's not. You would expect
not
if with that
organic
many
stuff.
flies, you would think it'd be reeking. But there's nothing reeking.
That is bizarre.
It is odd. I don't like it.
Because I get furious at having 3 in the lounge.
Oh, dude, that's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
But it varies from day to day. I don't know. Anyway.
So
It's weird.
Last
Fly
night, I blitzed the whole lounge with fly spray. Not terrible, but just like done.
Yeah.
Because it was 3 flies. And then have you just watched flies after they've been hit with fly spray?
Oh,
Yeah.
I was watching one today.
I watched them die.
Yeah.
Well, the one today gave me the fingers. It did fucking it did nothing.
Really?
Unbelievable.
Because my ones flew around for 10 minutes, like they'd take off and then they'd be grounded again and then they'd take off.
Have
10
another
minutes of
crack.
them and then eventually upside down on the carpet.
Oh, okay. Can you send me a photo of what fly spray you've got? Because one I've got, I think, is
Raid.
steroids.
My one's like 2 minutes and they're dead. And what they do
Jason's is even better than mine, Mike. Did you
is
hear that?
they...
This is really
Hey,
good.
Casey,
They-
don't send me a photo of your one. I want
Yeah,
Jason.
this is way better than mine. It's 2 minutes.
They've got this habit, which makes sense to me. They go into my sunroom and die.
Right.
So they go, "Wee," and then they all just congregate there.
Your
I say-
son's room?
My sunroom. Because that's just all glass, basically. And she's
Sunrooms are, yeah.
steamy airs in there.
Nice and warm
Yeah.
place to go and die.
Yeah. Actually, do your flies ever at night, because my wife will be in bed and I'll be having a small glass of port watching
My
TV.
wife.
And then they'll all fly over to the TV screen because it's warm.
Right.
And then, like, I don't know, lay eggs in my LCD.
No,
Yeah.
what I talk about, and I said it
LED,
yesterday,
sorry.
was the fans right above us on our lounge, and they just fly. It's so weird.
What
And
the flies do.
the flies fly in squares, and just directly under the fan, that's where they congregate, and they just do these squares. I sit there
Well,
for...
it's probably, you know what it might be. Now that we'll Google it.
Yeah.
But they hate moving wind. But directly under the fan, there would be an area where there is no moving wind. There would be a vacuum of that.
Yes,
And
maybe.
they obviously have to keep moving, so they fly in a square.
Yeah.
That
No.
could be it.
Hey, Keezy.
Why do flies fly in squares? They fly in a relatively small space in a square. They are forming a mating lek. It is a Swedish word dividing a space for males to engage in competitive displays for attracting females. So the ones flying in squares are
Are you
dudes.
shitting me? So it's like a mating
Yeah.
thing.
They're trying to give a fuck in front of the TV.
So they've got a good old fly orgy happening at old Mogie's house.
Do you want me to take a photo of your nips, Keezy, for the Insta? I think what we should do is we should start off with your nips today.
Jace, we're doing all 3 anonymous nips, and people have to vote on whose is most disgusting.
Anonymous nips. That's
Yeah.
quite good, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's not. I was thinking about it. Could be funny to have like one person with massive burnt meat patties. I was like, no, it just has to be the real things, so we can establish who's got the worst nips. And if it's me, so be it. But I reckon you're rocking some hers, Jace.
Okay, do you want to hear about these flies?
Yeah.
Males will find a patch of light, Jace. That's what they're interested in.
Right.
In a dark room, a garden, or a forest clearing, and there they fly in something like random circuits. They may be quite numerous, and they await the visitation of a willing female.
Wow.
If only it was as simple as running around in a square.
Yeah. Wow.
That's what I
I
did.
learned something today, fellas.
Good shit, man. Hey, follow us on Instagram, Hodaki Big Show. You've got Mr. Mike Minogue there on the Insta. Hoity J, who's killing it with the followers at the moment. And old Chris Key and Zed. Also, call me Pugs. Jace,
What?
thanks, mate.
I've got another appointment tomorrow.
Oh,
That's
okay.
annoying.
Thanks, mate.
What?
Say thanks, mate.
To who?
To the listeners.
Why?
We always do it.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah.